A corneal implant created from pig's skin has successfully restored the sight in 20 blind or visually impaired people as part of a promising trial. The implant is made from collagen protein from the animal, and resembles the human cornea, the transparent part of the eye that covers the iris and pupil. Scientists at Linköping University and Linkocare Life Sciences AB have developed the implant as an alternative to donated human corneas, as well as a less invasive surgery for implantation. It is hoped that the results of the pilot study will bring hope to those who live with corneal blindness and low vision. Professor Neil Lagali, who led the project, said, "The results show that it is possible to develop a biomaterial that meets all the criteria for being used as human implants, which can be mass-produced and stored up to 2 years and thereby reach even more people with vision problems. This gets us around the problem of shortage of donated corneal tissue and access to other treatments for eye diseases." The corneal implant is made from collagen protein from pigs, and it resembles the human cornea, the transparent part of the eye that covers the iris and pupil. It is estimated that 12.7 million people around the world are blind due to damaged or diseased corneas, as they restrict how much light enters the eye. However, only 1 in 70 patients receives a cornea transplant, and those who need them tend to live in low- and middle-income countries where access to treatments is very limited. Mehrdad Rafat, researcher and entrepreneur behind the implants, said, "We've made significant efforts to ensure that our invention will be widely available and affordable by all and not just by the wealthy. That's why this technology can be used in all parts of the world." In a study published yesterday in Nature Biotechnology, the researchers describe how they created the cornea using collagen molecules from pig skin. The material is economically viable and easily accessible all over the world as it is a byproduct of the food industry. The researchers first stabilized the loose collagen molecules to create a robust material that could withstand implementation in the eye. While donated corneas must be used within 2 weeks, the bioengineered corneas can be stored for up to 2 years before use. The paper also outlines how the new implant can make the surgery for implementing the new cornea less invasive. The standard procedure is the surgical removal of the patient's damaged cornea before the new one is sewn into place. However, installing the bioengineered cornea does not require the removal of the patient's tissue, and no stitches are necessary. Professor Lagali explained. Instead, a small incision is made, through which the implant is inserted into the existing cornea.